So this module is about preparing for your abortion. There's quite a few elements that one can prepare for that will help make the abortion experience so much more comfortable. The first one is really timing your abortion well. Look at your week, look at your weeks ahead, and when do you have the most time at your house without any interruptions and potentially the most privacy? Or maybe a time when your partner is going to be home or also doesn't have work and the two of you can be together. Think on to your next 2 weeks and when the most optimal time would be to have your abortion. That's the time you'll want to choose to bleed. And depending on whether you're having an abortion with mifepristone and misoprostol or just misoprostol alone, this will be important. From there, you plan your process backwards of when you'll take the first pills, or in the case of misoprostol only, you'll choose the day that you start the abortion. The most important thing with timing your abortion is this: that you have privacy or companionship, that you have the most undivided time available to you to be able to have your full abortion with privacy and without interruptions from the outside world, and also timing from when you'll take your first pill in the case of mifepristone. In the case of mifepristone, you'll want to take the mifepristone pill first, 24 to 48 hours before taking the misoprostol. Therefore, the perfect timing of your abortion is the time when you have the most undivided time, the day that you're planning to take the misoprostol. The second thing to plan is about 2 hours before you plan to start bleeding after you've taken the misoprostol. It's a really good idea to take some ibuprofen and also to eat something. Sometimes misoprostol can make us a little bit nauseous, and so making sure that you've eaten something a good 2 hours before and also taken some ibuprofen can help to lessen the symptoms of cramping after you've taken the misoprostol, and also to lessen the feelings of nausea that you may get. And we'll get more into how to take misoprostol in the next video. It's also good to have a pain management plan. How do you usually manage your pain during your periods? Do you take ibuprofen? Do you use a heating pad? Maybe there's some other medications that you normally take that really seem to help with your own pain management. You'll want to have those on hand. The most important thing is that you have all of the tools available to you that you would usually use for cramping and menstrual pain. Those will help you also today. Because misoprostol can sometimes make us feel really cold after we've taken it, it's really wise to have a heating pad already ready to go in your bed, or maybe prepare a hot water bottle right before you start your abortion. All of this is also available in the bedside guide and the abortion timeline, so it'd be good to also print those out and have those ready as well. Also, do you plan to do a little bit of yoga and movement? We have some guided meditations and also some yoga sessions that are made explicitly for easing cramping during your abortion, and so that's available to you if you want it. Also, it's a good idea to maybe take a hot shower after you've started your bleeding process. It can feel really nice to relax your muscles. If you wish, you can also take a hot bath, but that's not necessarily recommended, as submerging yourself in water after your cervix is already open has the potential to introduce bacteria into the vaginal canal and start an infection. So if you can, it's safer to err on the side of the shower. Next, it'd be really nice to do a nice grocery store trip and really purchase any of the products that you might need. That might be nice, comforting, and healthy foods, anything that you like to eat when you're sick or feeling weak, easy foods that you don't have to cook or prepare too much, any kind of pain medications that you might want that are over the counter. If you have the ability to access antibiotics over the counter or have access to a doctor who can also write you a script for antibiotics, it'd be good to have some basic antibiotics on hand in case that an infection could be present. You may also want to pick up some extra pregnancy tests for after the abortion procedure to be able to test if you're not pregnant. Depending on how many times you may want to check that, it would be good to get between 2 and 10 pregnancy tests depending on what your bank account looks like, how expensive they are, and how many you want to get. It'd also be good to get any pads for bleeding that you would want, or any other feminine products that you usually use during your period. It's also good if you can prepare something, either a pan from your kitchen or another kind of box, to where you can put the fetus after it's passed. Sometimes it can really help our healing in order to have a way to dispose of the fetus in a really ceremonial manner after the abortion is complete. And that's entirely up to you. Also, for our altar, it's really good to have some extra candles or just really beautiful candles on hand. Maybe buy some special items like crystals or something else that speaks to you spiritually, or pick them up out of nature. Either you can make a really beautiful bouquet, or have leaves or different aspects of nature as part of your altar, but just gather all of those pieces together, things that really have meaning for you. Maybe some agua de Florida or other really nice smelly balms and other essential oils that can really help support your healing process. It's also really important to have an emergency contact on hand. If things really go bad, who would you call? Would you just dial 911? Is there a clinic or a specific provider that you feel safe with that you'd be comfortable to call? Maybe make sure that number is either in your phone or written somewhere, so it's easily accessible in case you may need it. Just as long as you have a plan for what to do during an emergency. Also, who is supporting you in this process? Is there someone that you want with you during the procedure, or do you prefer to be by yourself? Having, at the very least, some people in your life who know what you're going through and know that you're having an abortion is useful in case there is an emergency, whether or not they're physically there with you. It's also very important to really think about who we want to tell about this experience and who would be supportive. Maybe we do want to tell our partner that we're having an abortion, but maybe we realize that partner's energy may not be the exact energy that we need in our container to most fully heal. And it's important to just really think of that for yourself and know what you need for yourself to heal and who should be in that space. And speaking of space, what is your abortion space? Where do you plan to bleed? Do you plan to bleed primarily in your bed? And is that within close proximity to a toilet? If so, that's great. But really think about your access to a toilet and privacy with that toilet, and also privacy in the space that you're going to bleed. Is your bedroom the best place for that? Or maybe setting up an area around where your altar is, and you can make a real ceremonial container for where you plan to bleed, do your yoga, move, and spend your time. It's also really nice to have maybe some Netflix or TV series or movies, something to watch, beautiful music to listen to, but really just things that will help you pass the time, as your abortion can take hours to fully complete, and the bleeding can sometimes take up to a few days. So really just preparing yourself, your space, and all of the items you'll need to give you the most comfortable abortion possible. Thank you, and I wish you luck on this sacred journey.